The Super Mario Bros. Movie is awesome. You've seen it, you know that already. But what if I told you it's not the first Mario movie? You'd probably say, no shit. There was a live-action Mario movie in 1993. But that one wasn't the first either. Oh no. In 1986, yes, a year after the original Super Mario Bros. Came out, we got Super Mario Bros. The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach. And by we, I mean Japan, because it never made it any further. That being the case, it's entirely in Japanese. And it's not your traditional animated movie. Nor is it live action. It's an anime. I normally stay the hell away from those. But since it's Mario, I had to make an exception and learn as much as I could about this. The film was produced by Nintendo and Grouper Productions, and is the first movie ever to be based on a video game. Well, it came out the same day as Running Boy Star Soldier's Secret, which is apparently based on a video game too, but I don't know what that is, and I don't care. They did quite a bit to promote this movie in Japan, releasing a bunch of books, manga, watches, rice containers, and branded ramen noodles, which he eats in the frickin' movie. It has a lot of really cool history, and unfortunately most of it's lost. And the movie itself almost was too, since it only physically released in parts of Japan on VHS and Betamax. But thankfully, in the last few years, it's been fully recovered, restored, and preserved, so we shouldn't ever lose this odd piece of Mario's history. And watching this after the latest Mario movie, I realized the two have a lot in common. So if you're still avoiding spoilers, you gotta leave. I'm gonna be drawing quite a few comparisons throughout the video. With that said, let's give the film a little context. The year is 1986, and Mario as a source material was fairly new and didn't have much to pull from. As a character, he was introduced in 1981, and his first mainline platforming game came out in 85, so there wasn't much for the creative team to work with. There were some things about the world established, but also a ton of question marks. And that considered, I think they adapted everything pretty well. But of the things that were set in stone, the movie misses on quite a few of them. For starters, the brothers aren't plumbers, or even construction workers, which would have worked too. No, they run a grocery store. The movie doesn't spend much time on it, but still, there weren't a ton of set characteristics for these two, and one of their biggest was completely ignored. Also, the mushroom, fire flower, and star power-ups are treated way differently than they are in the games. Here, there's one of each spread around the Mushroom Kingdom, and Mario has to find all three before he can go fight Bowser. They're sought after more as valuable collectibles, rather than for their actual abilities. They kinda work like they do in the games, but Mario doesn't keep or lose the power. He can just use the ability whenever he wants. But I think the movie just kind of forgets they're there for the most part. He finds the mushroom first, and minutes later it shows him growing huge to stomp a giant Koopa. But later on, when he's surrounded by Spinies, he doesn't use it. And after getting the fire flower, he spits it at some enemies, then is locked up later on and doesn't use it to take out the guards. It's just not consistent. I kinda get the whole idea of them being more rare. I mean, the new movie does it with the Starman, but where that one clearly defines what everything does, this one is all over the place. Other than those things though, everything else is fairly consistent with the established canon at the time. And while some things don't align with what we expect from Mario today, it's simply because they weren't defined when this movie was being made. For example, Luigi's personality. We know him now as a timid, cowardly, self-conscious underdog. But in 1986, he was just Green Mario. So they had to flesh out his character themselves. But he's not green either, so... what? Instead, they made him the more sensible brother, and greed is one of his defining traits. The whole reason he agrees to go on the adventure is because of the rumored gold coins, and throughout the whole movie, he's going out of his way to get every bit of gold he can find. Hell, he even saves the day by mining for coins under Bowser's castle and hitting a water line, which causes the entire thing to come crashing down. Funnily enough, that's the only instance of either brother doing any plumbing, and I don't think it was intentional. But hey, it works. It makes a lot of sense for them to take the character in that direction, since coins were a big part of Super Mario Bros. And while it feels off retrospectively, it's not wrong. And it's the same thing with Bowser. He's still the big bad guy, but his quote black magic is way more prominent. The manual for the original Mario Bros. Says the Koopas are famous for it, but it wasn't ever used for anything more than turning toads into bricks, which still happens in this movie, but on top of that, he can shapeshift into whatever he wants, which was never something he could do. Again though, this is a valid interpretation. It's just not the direction Nintendo went with them moving forward. Wait. No. Wait. His relationship with Peach, however, is very akin to what it is in the new movie. Bowser loves this woman with all of his heart, and after his wedding proposal is denied, he kidnaps her to marry anyway. In both movies, that's Bowser's motive for capturing her. And it's kinda crazy that this movie went that direction all that time ago, then no other Mario plot did until Super Mario Odyssey, and now the 2023 Mario movie. It's really come full circle. Peach as a character is also a lot like her movie self, being less helpless than the games make her out to be. Her rescue is still what pushes the story forward, but her importance in the Mushroom Kingdom is more exemplified, and she tried a couple things to escape Bowser herself. They don't work out, but hey, it's more than the game show. Of all the characters, it feels like they were most accurate with Mario. He's the same heroic, determined, lovable character that we've known for all these years. And he even dreams about pasta like in Mario 64.
Spaghetti.
Gotta love it. Overall, I think they did really well adapting the characters. And while the world itself does not feel like Mario, it's passable enough given the lack of source material. What's not passable is how boring this movie is. There's so many chase scenes and walking cycles that go on for minutes at a time and play the same couple songs that are not Mario. And it's not in a, oh, it's not Mario, but it's pretty fun and catchy. No, they suck. And so do all these attempts at humor, which is made even more embarrassing when you see that it's considered an adventure comedy film. The adventure part barely holds up, but the comedy doesn't even come close. They try some very simple visual humor, like something out of Looney Tunes, but they lack the funny. On a more positive note, there are some entertaining scenes here and there. The first 5 minutes were a great hook. The part with the piranha plants and Lakitu was a lot of fun. The underwater section had some nice action, and the fireball platforming in the castle was awesome to see. They're pretty sporadic though, and they don't do enough to carry an otherwise slow movie. They account for maybe 10 minutes of the 61-minute runtime. Even with that said, my thoughts on the movie would be pretty neutral if it weren't for the terrible ending. So, Mario saves Peach, you know, yay! And he's so happy to finally be with the woman he loves. But she says she can only be with a prince with the same necklace as her. And once she says that, the dog that was traveling with you transforms into said prince, and she throws Mario to the side for him. Poor guy. The reason he went on the journey to begin with, completely pulled out from under him. But before the movie ends, God shows up to explain the lesson to the viewer. True courage comes from true love. I don't think he just saw the ending. Let's not spoil it for him. But yeah, that's Super Mario Bros. The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach. It's not very good. It exists, and I'm glad it's been archived and uploaded on the internet for anyone to watch, but you probably shouldn't. If you still want to see it for yourself, click the link in the description to check out the 4K restoration on YouTube, which was done by Kaneko Video. Thanks to their hard work, this weird piece of the Plumber's history will live on forever. And speaking of bad Mario movies, I've never seen the one from 1993, so if you want me to watch it and make a video about it, drop this video a like. If it gets to something crazy like 1,000 likes, I'll drop whatever I'm doing and watch that glorious piece of cinema. In the meantime, check out this video, where I cover everything about the Mario Bros. Plumbing van, and uncover all of its mysteries.